Hello everyone and welcome back. So on this one I'm going to show you how to mix up finishing plaster, and it's going to be the Colo mix. And first things first, you gotta have clean drinkable water, although I still wouldn't drink it out of the bucket. So get all your water prepared first. As you can see, clean cold water is what you need to start. So once you get your water filled up, what you need to do next is fill up your mixing bucket. So the ratio I follow is about one of those builder's buckets to about one bag of plaster. So obviously don't throw the whole bag in first. I like to use up all the half bags and the smaller bags first, and that way you're always using the older bags and the open bags out of the way. And what I do is I don't put in enough to make the mix, and I'll always put in about half of what I think. Give it a spin around. As you can see here, it's no problem to the Colo mix. So quick whisk around. You see the colour of the water gets very dirty and very muddy looking instantly. And the reason you give it a wee spin is you don't want that dust to settle down to the bottom and you can end up with big dusty lumps. So again, just gonna top it up, and you always want to build up your mixes slowly, and that way you'll not overmix it to make it too tight, and obviously you'll not undermix it. So build it up gradually, whether that be adding in 3 or 4 times, that's okay. And also note this as well, guys, that it's always powder to water, it's never water to powder. So again, the Colo mix, making short work of it. You do want to take your time and get it to the consistency that you're going to be comfortable using, and always scrape around the edges using a Spear and Jackson bucket scoop here. It's been on the channel for quite some time now as well, and so you'll just constantly scrape around the edges. Preferably do this when you know your mix is nearly complete. And again, I have to add more, that's okay guys. If you were to overmix it some, it's, you can add a bit of water, but you will want to get your mix spot on. And just as I show you here, if that's just getting a wee handful in, if you feel safer using handfuls, as when you lift that bag it can be a bit heavy and you can find more will pour in that you really did not want, which can lead you to a big powdery stiff mix that you also won't want. But you can see again, Colo mix, it's getting a bit stiffer now. I want a good bit of body in this plaster. Also another note you might want to make is that the more powder you add to the water, the stronger the mix should be, the stronger the plaster should be. And again, like I said, don't want to overmix it, but you want to get it right. You want to get it to the consistency you're going to be comfortable with, especially if you're doing ceilings or something with a wee bit more depth. Again, there's me testing it, scraping the corners here. It's very important to scrape the corners, as the dust and the plaster tends to get flung to the side, so you want to make sure you're getting that into the mix as well and well stirred up. And I would do that a few times. I would at least do it twice on every mix, and that way you just know you've got all the sides clean. And it's very, very important. Just a quick check on my battery power. I've still 2 lights left on this one, which will get me a minimum of 2 massive buckets mixed. And when I say massive buckets, a bag and a half, so pretty big buckets. Another note to make is mix the bottom, middle and the top as well. And Coolmix has a variable trigger also, so it will slow down as you let go and speed up as you go. So what I'm doing when I'm sticking it in and out there too, guys, is just checking the thickness of the plaster and also breaking any air bubbles. Air bubbles can catch underneath the skim, come up, pop into your eye, not very pleasant, or just make a mess. And the best way to do that is when you're finished drilling, lifting it up and breaking the tension. So again, like I said, scraping the bucket again, making sure that all the sides are in and it's at the consistency that you want. And this one is absolutely lovely, not too thick, not too thin. And that's a bit of a trial test you can do, where you know it's not going to just fly off your hawk and trowel and make a big mess, where you're going to be able to actually work with it. So what plasters can see this coming. It's a nightmare. I'm sure you've all been there, and the trowel falls off the edge of the bucket, and just a nightmare is you have to bend down and pick it up. Or also, what it's in this video for, why I haven't edited out, is because it's actually quite important to note this. The fact that it has fell on the ground, guys, is it's now slightly contaminated, and as there can be stones that stick to it. You can see one or two there. And also be careful where you set your drill in between pouring stuff in and out of the bucket, as stones will stick to it also. So what you have to do if the likes of that does happen before you need to remix again, or if you're going to use the bucket scoop to obviously clean out your bucket onto the board or scoop it up on the hawk, is give it a wash, a quick rinse, and that'll get all them stones, grits, all the foreign stuff out and keep your mix lovely. And once again, guys, with clean water, you're going to want to make sure after you're done with your mix and your drill, use nice cold clean water again and get that drill and that bucket scrubbed up nice and clean and ready for the next gauge, the next mix. Just a quick recap. So clean drinkable cold water. I go about a bag to a bucket of water. So get your mix right by always just gradually building up. Make sure you clean the edges of your buckets while you're mixing. Don't be afraid to use your hands just to top it up. And after each and every mix, get your tools cleaned up, your bucket and your drill.
What we doing live? Echoes in eternity.